I remember the day I left my home. It was a very big decision. I was just a young girl then. I traveled all by myself to the United Kingdom. This new country seemed so vast and unfamiliar. Everything was different from what I knew. The buildings were tall and the streets were busy, but deep inside my heart, a small flame of hope flickered. I knew I had to be strong. I told myself that courage would be my companion on this new path. The future was unknown, but I was ready to face it. The journey itself felt like a lifetime. I saw so many new sights through the window. Some filled me with wonder, making my eyes wide. Others made me feel a little bit uncertain, a little bit small. I missed my family dearly. I missed the familiar faces of my friends. The ache of their absence was real, but I held on to the thought of a brighter tomorrow. I believed that this journey would lead to new opportunities. Opportunities to learn, to grow, and to become who I was meant to be. When I finally arrived in the UK, my heart was a mix of many emotions. Excitement danced with nervousness. The world around me was a tapestry of newness. The buildings looked different, grand and old. The sounds of the city were a constant hum, so unlike the quiet of my village. Even the air felt crisp and new on my skin. I understood that there was so much I needed to learn, but this did not scare me. Instead, I felt a strong desire to embrace it all. I was determined to build a new life for myself here. Those first few weeks were a whirlwind of new experiences. I managed to find a small, simple room to call my own. Cautiously, I began to explore the streets around my new neighborhood. The language spoken by everyone was English, and it sounded fast to my ears. I listened very carefully to every word, every conversation I overheard. I tried hard to understand what people were saying. Every single day felt like a new page in a schoolbook, filled with lessons to be learned. I was a student of life in this new land. To keep my mind occupied and my spirit from dimming, I found solace in books. Books became my closest companions in this new world. They were like windows opening up to places I had never been. Through their pages, I learned countless new things. New words jumped out at me, and I eagerly collected them. I discovered new ideas that made me think deeply. Reading was a comfort. It helped me feel less alone in a big city. It expanded my horizons and filled my quiet hours with adventure and knowledge. My education quickly became the most important part of my day. I enrolled in a local school. I dedicated myself to my studies with all my heart. I knew that learning was the key. It was the pathway to building a better future for myself. It was the way to grow stronger, not just in mind, but in spirit too. I wanted to absorb every piece of information, every lesson shared. I was hungry for knowledge. My thirst for learning pushed me forward, even when things felt challenging. The teachers at my school were very kind and understanding. They offered me so much help and support. They always encouraged me to ask questions, no matter how small they seemed. They saw potential in me, and they believed in my ability to succeed. This belief from others gave me incredible strength. It made me want to try even harder, to push my own limits. I spent many afternoons in the quiet sanctuary of the library. It was a peaceful place where I could think clearly, study diligently, and let my dreams take flight. Through the power of learning, I gradually found my own voice. The world around me began to make more sense. My understanding of English improved with each passing day, each book I read, each conversation I had. Soon, I could speak with more ease and confidence. I could share my thoughts and feelings with others. This newfound ability to communicate was liberating. It made me feel more connected to the people around me. It significantly boosted my well-being and my sense of belonging in this new home. The years went by like seasons changing. I grew from a young girl into a young woman in the UK. This country, once so strange, slowly but surely became my second home. I worked diligently in my studies and later in my jobs. I formed new friendships, creating bonds that felt like family. A significant milestone in my journey was becoming a British citizen. It was a moment filled with immense pride and gratitude. I now carried two nations within my heart. This dual nationality made me feel like I had strong roots grounding me and wide wings allowing me to soar. Life brought more beautiful changes. I met a kind and wonderful person. We shared dreams and aspirations. We decided to build our future together, side by side. We celebrated our love with a wedding. Not long after, we were blessed with the joy of starting our own family. Our children were born here in the United Kingdom. They are British by birth. But it became incredibly important to me that they also knew and understood their other rich heritage. I wanted them to have a connection to the land of my birth, the traditions I grew up with. Together, we created a warm and loving home. It was a special place where two cultures met and mingled beautifully. We joyfully celebrated festivals from my home country, filling our house with traditional music and colors. We cooked the delicious foods I remembered from my childhood, the aromas bringing back sweet memories. I would often tell my children stories from my early years, tales of my family and my village. I wanted them to understand the journey their family had taken. I wanted them to appreciate the diverse threads that wove the fabric of their identity. Preserving my cultural heritage was more than just a duty. It was a way to stay connected to my roots. It was a precious gift that I wanted to pass on to my children. We often spoke my native language within our home so they could learn its sounds and rhythms. We listened to the traditional music that stirred my soul. This helped them understand the beauty of diversity from a young age. It taught them to respect and value different traditions and to see the world with open and accepting hearts. It enriched their lives in countless ways. My own journey, with all its challenges and triumphs, taught me invaluable lessons. I learned about the strength of the human spirit, about resilience in the face of adversity. I learned about the unwavering power of hope, even in the darkest of times. Most importantly, I saw firsthand how education can transform a life, opening doors that once seemed firmly shut. I felt a strong calling to share these lessons with others. I wanted to use my experiences to help and support people within my new community, to offer them a guiding hand. I began to dedicate my time to mentoring young people. I felt particularly drawn to those who, like me, were new to the UK. I understood the unique challenges they faced. I knew the anxieties and uncertainties that could cloud their minds. I shared my own story with them openly and honestly. I told them about my struggles and how I overcame them. I wanted them to know that they too could succeed, that their dreams were valid and achievable. I encouraged them to believe in their own potential, to find the strength within themselves. I offered practical help where I could. I assisted them with their schoolwork and their studies. I helped them practice their English, patiently correcting their mistakes and celebrating their progress. I tried to motivate them to pursue their ambitions with passion and determination. Seeing these young individuals grow, watching them gain confidence and find their footing, brought me immense joy. It felt like I was giving back a small part of the kindness I had received. It felt like I was making a tangible, positive difference in their precious lives. Education, I always told them, is the most powerful tool we possess. Reflecting on my life so far, I see a long and winding path. It has been a journey filled with moments of joy and moments of difficulty, sunshine and shadows, but every single step, every experience has shaped me and made me stronger. My greatest aspiration for the future is to continue this work of supporting others. I want to inspire even more young people. I want to show them, through my example, that with courage, perseverance, and a commitment to learning, anything is truly possible. Our individual stories matter, and they have the power to light the way for others.